A very good evening, everybody. This is Gulf Harbour Radio, ZMH286, Patricia and David. And it's not a very wonderful evening here, unfortunately, but we still haven't got the rain that is pummeling Northland and Wongarane at the moment, but it is on its way. It's currently 17 degrees here with a sort of a blustery 10 to 15 knots from the north-northeast. The barometer is plunging 1010 because the low that's just off the tip of the North Island up at North Cape there is getting a little bit closer to us, 100% cloud cover. But as I say, not too much yet by way of rain, but we are expecting it overnight. We've been glued to the radio, well, not the radio, actually. The CNN News seems to be the most up-to-date with the drama that's occurring 600 kilometres south of St. John's, Newfoundland. The Titan submersible, which has done quite a few explorations to the Titanic, which is down off the coast of St. John's, about 3,800 metres down, stopped transmitting when it was about an hour 45 into its descent. It takes 2.5 hours for this vessel to get down to the Titanic, which, as I mentioned, is 3,800 metres. So they lost communications after an hour and 3/4. So it's a big drama because they are running out of air. They have enough. They would have had enough time to for something to happen, but nobody knows where it is. There's been all sorts of sea searches and air searches. Yesterday, the Canadians actually heard some knocking every half hour, but they couldn't pinpoint it. There's just a bit of drama, and it doesn't look as if it's going to end very well. The US Navy has a vehicle that can go down to 600 metres, but this could be way, way down there at 3,800 metres. There is a remote vehicle that the Navy have that can go to 6,000 metres, but of course nobody inside it. So if they can't find it in the very close future, then things are not looking very good. They actually have 96 hours that the system can keep working. The batteries are needed, though, for the air scrubbing things. They take out the CO2 and put in some oxygen. And then, of course, the batteries are needed for heating because it's somewhat chilly down there. But at the moment, nobody knows where it is, and so that's the important thing at the moment. Everyone is doing their best to find it. So by this time tomorrow night, we'll know whether the people have been successful or not, but it is a bit of a drama. There's 5 people on board. One of them, in fact, is the CEO and founder of the company OceanGate, which is the company that leads the voyage. He's very knowledgeable, of course. And then there's a British businessman, a guy called Hamish Harding, a Pakistani billionaire and his son, and the French diver Paul-Henri Nargeolet. So then I presume there's a couple of people, the guy that's driving it and whoever else is there on board. But it is certainly keeping the interest of everybody around the world. Okay, well, I actually went to Auckland today.
It's 250 grand.
Oh, yes. To go on this, I don't suppose any of you will be booking after this, but if you did, you would have to pay $250,000. Not sure whether that's British pounds, US dollars, or New Zealand dollars. US dollars it is. Okay, so proper dollars. And yes, so it's not exactly a cheap tourist venture there. What was I saying? Oh, yes. I went to Auckland for the first time in over 3 years, actually, post-COVID. So I went down to see, there was a very good exhibition in the Art Museum from the Tate, and it was very good too. But I should go more often to Auckland because, boy, there's a few things have changed. For example, if you thought you were born in, as in David's case, 1944 AD, you are no longer AD because of sensitivities to the use of the Christian AD. You are now born in whatever year it was, CE. That's Charlie Echo for Common Era. Now, I don't know whether that's different in other languages, but now the date of the painting or the birth date of the painter is now whatever it is, CE. Those of you who are from this area will know that everyone has gone berserk with Maori and English on all of our signs everywhere, and unfortunately the Maori, which is somewhat longer than the English, is the first thing. So if you're told not to cross the road, there's all this Maori and then there's English. But I tell you what, just going to the bathroom is a little bit interesting now. And do note that we do now use the word bathroom, very American, because it used to be the toilet. But anyway, the bathroom has all of these different diagrams on it with the words, you're welcome to use the bathroom that best aligns with your gender identity. Would you believe it? You're welcome to use the bathroom that best aligns with your gender identity. Ye gods. Anyway, David reckons that they should just have a sign, very simple, choose the bathroom that's empty. But anyway, that's what I learned today. So I kept away from the Albany restaurants, that's just down the road from us here, because last night at 3 restaurants there was an axe attack, and 3 people actually ended up in hospital, one quite serious with brain injuries. They were all Chinese restaurants, which I wouldn't go there anyway because I'm allergic to MSG, but and there's been very little in the paper or on the news to say just what was behind the attacks. So there you go, quite a bit of activity news-wise in New Zealand today, but we will, I'll check when David's talking about the weather to see if there's any news from the submersible, but they've got less than 30 hours left to go if they are still in one piece. Okay, let's see, there's a couple of blokes on passage. I won't talk to Kaya because we've just sent them an email and they're not on the radio anyway. Anahata, Gulf Harbour. And it looks fairly peaceful where you are at the moment, David. Go ahead and good evening to Raymond.
Okay, thank you. Our third position is 2042 south, 17840. We're on a course of 3242 and speed over the ground of 5.5 knots. The wind has been fantastic for today from the northeast of 10 to 12 knots. Less than 1 year cloud, I think the bump is 1013.
Okay, I have Anahata at 2042 south, 17640 east, on a course of 324 true, 5.5 knots, northeast. I'm just looking at marine traffic, because I thought had it more to the east, southeast. Goodness gracious, yeah, big difference in the GFS. Anyway, the wind is northeast, 10 to 12. Seas less than 1 metre and in 1013, and it sounds like good sailing today, so you're certainly making good progress towards the Fiji bottom island. So yeah, hope all is well on board. Over.
Yeah, there was a huge wind this morning in the turnaround and it filled in and it was just been sublime sailing all day. Over.
Oh, sounds good. Well, it's certainly you wouldn't want to go by GFS. I'm going to push the microphone towards David and see what he's got in store for the next 24 hours.
Yeah, well, tomorrow, moving you along a little bit, very light air, looks like to me. Try to average out a couple of these models, probably about 5 knots out of the east, it looks like, out of the east. So not much air at all. The trough is north of Fiji. It is probably going to drift to the south in the next day or so. So it's quite possible that you'll be affected by that. I'm not sure what your ETA is. Do you have an ETA, by the way? Over?
Yeah, we're gonna get in on Friday morning, so we'll start boating once it backs off. But hopefully we can get up to Kandavu tomorrow before it totally dies off, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, looking at Friday morning, it looks to me more like southerly winds. About hang on here, my computer is playing games. Yeah, southerly winds about 10 to 15. I think I'm going to X this out. Hang on. He's going into dinner hour, right?
Yes, I'm in Darby tomorrow morning.
Yeah, sorry about that. But yeah, southerly winds probably getting into the between Kindavu and Denarau. Yeah, fairly light. The trough looks like it hasn't quite reached Vidi Levu. It looks like it's going to be over Vanilla Levu by Friday, certainly Friday afternoon. So might get some showers though in Vidi Levu. So be prepared for that. Nothing extraordinary, just some light showers possibly, and fairly light wind, and again pretty much out of the south. Over.
I really appreciate it. Hopefully the get it rock tomorrow like I did today, and the wind stays in here.
Yeah, well, with a bit of luck. Boy, I'm quite amazed at how wrong the GFS is at the moment. So, yep, looks like you'll have it in the right direction, and once you get past Kandavu, things will settle down even more, though the seas sound absolutely delicious for sailing in at the moment. So have a good night, you two, and we'll check with you tomorrow. You'll be really smelling the barn then. Okay, and by the way, overnight, to get very, very precise on the solstice, it's at 3 a.m. in the morning. 3 a.m. solstice. So we'll all cheer up here because the sun will start to get a bit closer, which will be most appreciated. Okay, I wonder if Rubicon is on frequency. There's quite a few boats at Minerva, so I just wonder what things are like there. Is there anybody wanting to make contact? Please call now. No, nothing heard. So we will leave you all in peace and be with you again tomorrow with news of the poor submersible that's floating around. David thought maybe it has been attacked by a whale on its way down because it does sort of look like something that a big whale would be interested in. So, yeah, pretty exciting for the people on board if they are in fact still alive. Okay, cheers everybody, have a good night, and we will be back again tomorrow. This is Gold Harbour Radio. Clear.
Gold Harbour, Rubicon.
Hello, Rubicon. Elizabeth. And yes, good signal from you. Are you still enjoying things up there, over?
Oh, roger that. Yeah, it's beautiful. Windy this morning, and then it's laid down, and it's flat calm right now, okay?
Oh, how marvellous. So just beautiful conditions when it's like that up there. So I hope you made use of it to get off and have a bit of a snorkel around, over.
Yeah, roger that. We snorkeled all yesterday over by the wreck, and had a wonderful few hours snorkeling, and today, well, I don't know, I'd say 3 hours ago, one of the other yachts called to inform everyone that one of their paddleboarders has been knocked off her paddleboard by a 12-foot tiger shark on the exact same spot we had been snorkeling yesterday, okay?
Holy Moses, knocked off a paddleboard by a 12-foot tiger shark. Now that would be very, very scary. Goodness gracious. Yeah, well, that would tend to keep you on board. That is very interesting news and very, very dangerous. So obviously nothing further happened with but being knocked off. That is rather aggressive behaviour, over.
Yeah, roger that. Apparently she was able to hit it in the snout or something with paddle, and it swam off. So that's a good thing. But yeah, I'm glad we got our snorkeling in yesterday. Okay.
Yes. Yeah, I don't think I'd be going back to that spot. It may be trying to tell you something that it belongs there and you don't. Oh, goodness gracious me. Yeah, it reminds me. I have never been a strong water person. Well, not until I started cruising with David, of course. And one time down in, I think we're at the bottom part of New Caledonia, and I was snorkeling around. He was actually in the dinghy. And I came up and I said, oh, there's a really interesting, lovely looking shark down there. It's got stripes all over it. And his words were, get in the dinghy. So I learned about tiger sharks at that point and wasn't allowed back in the water at that particular spot. But it did look quite tranquil, just sort of sitting there, probably waiting to decide whether I was tasty or not. So, yeah, that is, I haven't heard about tiger sharks there before. It's usually the white tips and things that we hear about, you know, particularly at the entrance. What was that?
Occasionally a grey.
Yeah, the greys. Yes. So yeah, that is very interesting. Well, thank you for that. What is the current condition? You said it's quite calm again now. Over.
Yeah, roger that. It's flat calm and southeast maybe 5. I don't think even that much. Okay.
Yeah, sounds very, very pleasant. So, okay, well, hopefully the dinghy's in the water for if anybody wants to go snorkeling again tomorrow. Yeah, I liked snorkeling at the past because it was so much, well, there were a lot of sharks there, but it was just a lot of interesting fish. I still remember a really colourful boxfish I saw near the pass, but depends on where you are, of course. Okay, well, keep enjoying it and do take care. And thanks for coming up, Elizabeth. Hi to Matt. Over.
Roger. Thank you guys very much for the weather. We really appreciate it. We'll probably be heading on, I don't know, we're thinking of Saturday, maybe. Hopefully the weather is amendable.
Yeah, well, we'll see what it's like tomorrow and try and get some nice breezes to keep you smartly on your way. All right, cheers to you both, and Gulf Harbour Radio is clear. Wow.
Cheers. Have a great night. This is Ruth Constable.
So she whacked the shark with
No,
the paddle?
whoever it was, not her, it's another cruiser.